Jason Tatum, where's your recognition? In a universe where MVP discussions are incessantly debated, one name seems to be overlooked, or rather, underestimated. Who would have imagined that after so many seasons of excellence, Jason Tatum, one of the greatest talents of this generation, would be left out of the MVP conversation? Then the unexpected happened. Kendrick Perkins, a man who is not afraid to speak his mind, found himself compelled to issue a public apology to the Boston Celtics star. As a former player and NBA champion, Perkins understands the weight of being left out of the elite conversation. Jason Tatum, I apologize to you because we need to mention your name much more when we talk about the three letters everyone chases. MVP, he said sincerely on a recent edition of NBA Today. But is Perkins right? Why isn't Tatum more celebrated in MVP discussions? What no one expected was to see Tatum continue his impressive journey without the recognition he deserves. So far this season, he's constantly flirting with averages of 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, numbers that, on their own, would put any other player in the spotlight. Yet, the league's narrative seems to revolve around other names, leaving Tatum in the background. And the Celtics situation, which seems stronger by the day, with the second-best record in the Eastern Conference, only intensifies this reflection. It's not just a simple statistic that proves Tatum's greatness, but his ongoing impact on the court. Alongside stars like Nikola Jokic, Tatum is one of the rare players who dominates multiple facets of the game. He leads his team in points, rebounds, and assists, a feat few can match. So, what is missing for Tatum to finally be recognized for what he is? As the leader of the Celtics, he deserves more than just applause. He deserves the MVP title. Perkins, with all his history, wasn't the only one to notice this. The basketball community is starting to question: is Tatum being underestimated? As the player who led his team to the Eastern Conference title last year, it's impossible to ignore the brilliance of his star. Are the media and analysts just waiting for a slip-up to finally recognize Tatum's true value? Or is the MVP race just a narrative marathon, where champions aren't always the most celebrated, but rather those whose stories best fit the season's expectations? As Tatum continues to defy the odds and deliver spectacular performances, the lingering question is, has the time finally come for him to be treated as the legitimate MVP that he is? The wait for the giant. When will Kristaps Porzingis finally debut for the Celtics? The question hanging in the air is simple, yet filled with anticipation. Is the Boston Celtics 7'3" star about to return to action? Kristaps Porzingis' absence has already become a saga of its own, but what truly intrigues everyone is the lingering uncertainty. What impact will his recovery have on the future of the season? Kristaps Porzingis recovery. Porzingis has yet to play a single game this season. The highly anticipated acquisition made during the offseason to strengthen the team has been recovering from surgery on his left foot, a process that has taken longer than many expected. However, what no one expected was to see the Lithuanian giant so close to a potential debut, as he has started participating in warm-ups before games, traveling with the team, and even practicing with the Maine Celtics, the team's G League affiliate. Joe Mazzulla has been closely monitoring Porzingis' progress but made it clear that caution is still needed. I've seen just a bit of his workout, Mazzulla said with his characteristic directness. But he's doing well, and getting better every day. But the real question here is, how much longer can the Celtics go without their heavy-hitting reinforcement? Could Porzingis' absence affect the team more than we've seen so far? The pillar of the Celtics during Porzingis' absence. Porzingis' absence is not something new for the Celtics, who have faced a similar situation in the past. Last season, in their pursuit of the franchise's 18th title, the team had to rely on veteran Al Horford, who at 38 years old, stepped up to take responsibility at a crucial point in the playoffs. While Horford doesn't possess the same rim protection as Porzingis, he proved to be efficient on both ends of the floor. His solid performance, combined with his leadership, was essential in keeping the Celtics moving forward, even without the lethal Lithuanian center. But as the season progresses, the question arises: how much longer can the Celtics rely on Horford to cover Porzingis' absence? While Horford has been competent, the return of Porzingis is a factor that could be decisive for the team's future. With impressive averages of 20.1 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 1.9 blocks per game last season, Porzingis is more than just a rebounder or rim protector. He is a vital offensive presence, a constant threat both on the perimeter and in the paint. However, the truth is that Porzingis' recovery seems closer than ever. He's getting better every day, Mazzulla said, maintaining an optimistic yet cautious outlook. The team has learned to cope without him for a while, but his return could be what the Celtics need to catapult them to the position of NBA favorites. So, what happens when the Giant finally steps onto the court? Will he be able to adjust quickly enough to help the Celtics continue their quest for the title? Or will the pressure to return affect his performance? The wait for Porzingis' return is not just a fan's expectation. It's a crucial question that could define the Celtics' future this season. And what do you think, basketball fans? Will the Celtics maintain their strong form without him, or will his return be what the team needs to fight for the title? Share your thoughts in the comments. Controversial trade. What are the Celtics willing to lose with Al Horford? When it comes to the Celtics, expectations are always high, especially after a promising start to their title defense. With a 12-3 record through the first 15 games, Boston is dominating. But then, amid their good form, one question rises that can't be ignored. Are the Celtics willing to part ways with one of the most respected figures on the team? The proposed trade involving Al Horford has raised a red flag for fans and experts alike. And what no one expected was to see the 38-year-old veteran at the center of trade rumors. The silent and irreplaceable leadership of the Celtics. Horford's name recently appeared in an ambitious trade proposal suggested by Matt Levine from Sports Illustrated. The deal would send the Celtics icon to the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Nick Richards and Seth Curry, along with some draft picks. The immediate reaction to this? A massive question mark. Why sacrifice such a valuable player? Horford is more than just a player on the team. He is the heart and soul both on and off the court. In Boston's recent win against the Cleveland Cavaliers, Horford was absolutely dominant. With 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 63.6% shooting from the field, he made his value clear. His performance not only impressed the fans but also led coach Joe Mazzulla to publicly praise his competitive nature. He's an innate competitor, Mazzulla said. But can the Celtics really afford to let go of such leadership? The proposed trade with the Hornets. Risks and strategic doubts. The trade proposal raises fundamental questions. Richards, while experienced, brings a playing style very similar to Neemias Queta, who has shown off the Celtics bench this season. Queta has proven to be an efficient rim protector and a quick-developing offensive creator. How can the team justify adding Richards when they already have such a promising player in the same role? More importantly, what would they lose by letting Horford go? The absence of Horford is not an easy scenario to imagine. With his ability to distribute the game and his capacity to reinvent himself at 38 years old, he's shooting an impressive 47.7% from 3 this season. Horford is irreplaceable. The proposal to trade for Richards and Curry doesn't seem to fill the gap left by his leadership and experience in critical moments. Would Boston be able to maintain its balance without him? Horford is in the final year of his $19.5 million contract and will be a free agent at the end of the season. Retirement may be near, but if he decides to continue, the logical assumption is that the Celtics would try to keep him. But the big question is the trade proposal really aligned with what Boston needs to win a championship? Instead of looking to the future with Richards, maybe it's better to focus on the present and strengthen the foundation that's already proven itself. What the Celtics need, more than anything, is continuity and stability. Now is not the time to dismantle a team that has already shown it can compete for a title. However, the idea of losing Horford raises a crucial reflection. How long will the experience of a veteran be more valuable than the youth and promise of new talent? What do you think? Would the trade with the Hornets be a smart move for the future, or an irreplaceable loss for the team right now? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't miss the next developments in this trade saga. Hey Celtics fanatics! What do you think of this news? Leave your opinion in the comments, as it's highly valued.